Very good morning, students. So, let me introduce first. My name is P. Sridevi, working as Head of Electrical and Electronics Engineering Section, Government Polytechnic, Warangal. Now, in this program, I am dealing the subject Electrical Engineering and Electronic Devices for C18 curriculum diploma second sem students, electrical and electronics engineering students. So in this we are discussing about how the magnetism and electricity are interrelated. How the magnetism and electricity are interrelated, and some terminology about magnetism. So in the first, now we are in the third unit, electromagnetic induction. In first two units, the first unit is magnetic effect of electric current. Second unit is magnetic circuits. Now the third one is electromagnetic induction. The first unit is magnetic effect of electric current. It means whenever current passes through a conductor, magnetic field will be developed. So that is known as magnetic effect of electric current. So in that we discussed how a magnet behaves. It consists of north and south poles, and its field is represented by magnetic lines of force, and the magnetic field strength can be calculated by using work law or Biot-Savart's law, that we discussed and in first unit. The second unit is magnetic circuit. So what is magnetic circuit? The circuit in which the flux passes is known as magnetic circuit. And in that chapter we discussed the various comparisons between electric circuit and magnetic circuit. So both are in behaviors 90% they are in similar to that. So the flux passes through the magnetic circuit, whereas electric current passes through the electric circuit. The property of a material, that is reluctance, which oppose the flow of flux, whereas here the property of a material, which is resistance, which oppose the flow of current. Okay. Now there are no insulating materials for magnetism, but insulating materials exist for current. See, wood, mica, all these insulating materials. So here magnetic lines of force passes through all the substances, whereas electric lines of force, they do not pass through the conducting substances. They passes through only non-conducting substances. So, but now what is the relation between electricity, magnetism and induction? The relation between electricity, magnetism and induction, electromagnetic induction. So what is induction first of all? So induction means the transfer of something. Something means here we have to use power, electric power, because the entire our chapter is nothing but electrical engineering and electronic devices. The transfer of power from one circuit to another circuit without having electrical connection, but only with the help of magnetic link, with the help of magnetic flux, is known as electromagnetic induction. So induction means the property what we are inculcating in another material, that is not the originally developed in that. It is transferred from other object in which it is actually developed. Suppose if you take a conductor in which EMF is there, and in this conductor there is no EMF. If this conductor induces EMF in this conductor, then it is known as induction. But how it is able to transfer EMF from this circuit to in this circuit? There is no electrical connection like this. See, both are not linked. There is a gap. But with the help of magnetism, this conductor and this conductor are linked with the same magnetic field. So the transferring or inducing EMF from one circuit to other circuit without having electrical connection, but only with the help of magnetic flux, is known as electromagnetic induction. Now for this the related to the electromagnetic induction, a scientist Faraday, he discovered two laws which are known as Faraday's laws of electromagnetic induction. So what is his first law means? Whenever a conductor is placed in a magnetic field, it cuts the flux and some flux links with this conductor. Then EMF will be induced in this conductor. In simple way we can say, whenever the flux linking with the conductor is changing, then EMF will be induced in that conductor. So which is known as Faraday's first law. Which is known as, in the previous lesson we discussed these points. Okay. So what is Faraday's second law? So just now I told, because of this conductor, EMF is induced in this conductor. Okay. So because of change in flux, EMF is induced in this conductor only. So first law is, whenever this conductor links with the flux, then EMF will be induced in this conductor. But what is the amount of EMF induced? That is given by Faraday's second law. Whenever a conductor cuts the flux, some flux links with the conductor, hence EMF is induced. But the amount of EMF induced is directly proportional to the rate of change of flux linking with the coil. At what rate the flux linking with the coil is changing. That rate of change of flux means d pi by dt. So E is proportional to d pi by dt. If I remove the proportionality, E is equal to minus n d pi by dt, where minus is nothing but opposite direction, that I will explain in this lesson. N is nothing but number of turns in the coil. So it means the EMF induced in the conductor is directly proportional to number of turns and rate of change of flux linking with the coil. Now this EMF induced is so many types. Statically induced EMF, dynamically induced EMF. So to develop the EMF, we need two values compulsory: magnetic field and conductor. Okay. So if both magnetic field and conductor are at rest, then EMF is induced in the conductor. Then that EMF is known as statically induced EMF. In other way, conductor and magnetic field, in both, if any one of the thing is moving, if the magnetic field is moving or conductor is moving, either magnetic field or conductor are in rotation, then the EMF developed in the coil is known as dynamically induced EMF. The dynamically induced EMF is given by E is equal to BLV sin theta. E is equal to BLV sin theta, where B is the flux density of the magnetic field, L is the length of the conductor, V is the velocity of the conductor with which it is moving, and theta is this is the magnetic field, this is the moving conductor direction, the angle between magnetic field and movement of the conductor, sin theta. So if theta equal to 90 degrees means the conductor is moving perpendicular to the magnetic lines, hence maximum flux will cut by the conductor, hence maximum EMF will be induced in the conductor. Maximum EMF will be induced in the conductor. In reverse, if the conductor is moving parallel, means theta equal to 0 degrees. The conductor is moving parallel to the magnetic field. The flux cut by the conductor is 0. When they are moving, both are parallel, there is no cutting of flux. Flux cut by the conductor is 0. Hence, EMF induced is also 0. Now the statically induced EMF, again they are again classified into self-induced EMF and mutually induced EMF. So for developing EMF, first cause is the change in flux linking with the coil. Change in flux linking with the coil. So if the EMF is developed due to change in flux in its own coil, because the flux should produce in the coil, because of change in that flux only EMF is induced, then such type of EMF is known as self-induced EMF. Self means due to change in its own flux, not the flux in the neighboring coil. The EMF induced in the coil due to change in its own flux, or due to change in flux developed in that coil only, its own coil, then that EMF is known as self-induced EMF. In the other way, mutually induced EMF. See, this is the coil in which flux is developed. Now I am bringing this coil nearer to this coil. So some part of this flux links with this coil. So now the EMF is induced in this coil due to change in flux in its neighboring coil. There is no flux developed in this coil, but the flux is developed in this coil. Due to change in flux in this coil, EMF is developed in this coil. That EMF is known as mutually induced EMF. So once again, EMF due to change in flux, EMF is developed in a coil. That EMF is known as induced EMF. The induced EMF is two types: statically induced EMF, dynamically induced EMF. If the EMF is induced in a conductor in which both conductor and magnetic field are at rest, then that EMF is known as statically induced EMF. And EMF induced in a conductor in which either magnetic field or not both, either magnetic field or conductor are moving, then that EMF is known as dynamically induced EMF. So the formula to calculate dynamically induced EMF is E is equal to BLV sin theta. Now the statically induced EMF is again classified into two types: self-induced EMF, mutually induced EMF. EMF induced in a coil due to change in flux in its own coil, then such EMF is known as self-induced EMF. If EMF induced in a coil due to change in flux in its neighboring coil, not its own coil, in its neighboring coil, then that type of EMF is known as mutually induced EMF. So these are the topics we discussed in the previous class. Now in this class we will discuss about the points Lenz's law, Fleming's right hand rule, and concept of self-inductance and concept of mutual inductance. Now what is Lenz's law? Now we explained what is Faraday's first law. Whenever conductor cuts the flux and some flux links with the coil conductor, some EMF will be induced in the conductor. So that self-induced EMF is given by E is equal to minus N d pi by dt, where N is number of turns, d pi by dt is rate of change of flux linking with the coil. The flux linking with the coil is changing, but at what rate it is changing? That factor is given by rate of change of flux linking with the coil. But why we are using that minus symbol? That minus indicates opposite direction. So what is the main cause to induce the EMF? Tell me. The current passing through the conductor which develops magnetic flux. Okay? Isn't it? And voltage applied to the conductor. So the developed EMF is always opposite to the cause of its production. Listen the word carefully. What is the main cause to develop the EMF is applied voltage. Applied voltage. So which is always in opposite direction to that which causes the EMF to induce in this coil. So according to Lenz's law, the EMF induced is always in opposite direction to cause of its production. This is known as Lenz's law. This is known as Lenz's law. See here, Lenz's law in electromagnetism statement that an induced electric current flows in a direction such that the current opposes the change that induced it. So the current opposes the change which induced this current. Okay. So the cause of its production. What is the cause to produce a EMF or induced current? For that it will be in the opposite direction. That is Lenz's law. So here we are seeing, if you are trying to increase the flux through a loop, the induced field opposes that increase. The induced force opposes that increase. Means it opposes the cause of its production. If you try to decrease the flux through the loop in this round circular loop, the induced field tries to decrease the flux. Okay? The induced field tries to decrease the flux. It means it opposes the cause of its production. So whatever be the cause to produce this, that will oppose this. Okay? That is about Lenz's law. Now, so whenever the conductor cuts the flux, EMF is induced. Okay. Now how, in what direction the EMF is induced? We already said it opposes the cause of its production. But the direction of induced EMF or the direction of induced current is given by Fleming's right hand rule. Is given by Fleming's right hand rule. So hold forefinger, middle finger and thumb perpendicular to each other. It means 90 degrees to each other, right angles to each other. So the forefinger always indicates the direction of magnetic field. The forefinger always indicates the direction of magnetic field. Then the thumb indicates the direction of movement of the conductor. Direction of movement of the conductor. Then the middle finger indicates the direction of induced EMF. Direction of induced EMF. See here, hold the right hand forefinger, middle finger and thumb at right angles to each other. At right angles to each other. If the forefinger represents the direction of the magnetic field, this one, and thumb indicates the direction of the motion of the conductor, then the middle finger indicates the direction of induced current. Direction of induced current. This is nothing but Fleming's right hand rule. Now we will discuss the concept of self-inductance and concept of mutual inductance. So now let me discuss. See, this is the coil. We are giving the supply. Okay, now current is passing. Whenever current is passing, flux is developed. Okay, if the flux develops, the flux linking with the conductor changes and EMF induces. So the main reason to develop the EMF is change in flux. The how flux changes? If the current changes. But how current changes? So when we are having so many number of turns, there is a property of the, if you have a straight wire, then you can call it as a conductor. We cannot call it as a coil. If you call conductor as a coil, means it should have number of turns. So if you wind the copper wire into number of turns, then we can say it as a coil. You can say it as a conductor also, but clearly we have to say the conductor is not a straight single wire, it is made into a number of turns. Then we can call it as a coil. So for a coil, it possesses some property that if the current passing through the coil is increasing, it opposes the increase in current. And if the current passing through the coil is decreasing, it opposes the decrease in current. It means a coil naturally opposes the any variation in current. Any variation means if current is increasing from 5 amperes to 6 amperes, then it will oppose that increase of 1 ampere. If the current is decreasing from 5 amperes to 4 amperes, then it will oppose the decrease in 1 ampere current. It always tries to oppose the change in the current, whether it is increasing or decreasing. That property, the property by which it opposing any change in the current, that property is known as self-inductance. Self-inductance. So because of that property only, the current is changing and it is opposing. So that change in flux is only causing EMF. So what we can say, the self-inductance is the only cause to develop EMF induced in the coil. Self-inductance only is the cause to develop the EMF in the coil. So what is self-inductance? Self-inductance means it is a property of a coil. We should not say conductor simply. So when you say coil, just you will recall that it is having number of turns. Okay. So property of a coil which opposes any variation, any type of variation, whether increases or decreases. If it increases, it opposes the increase. It decreases, it opposes the decrease. So any variation or any change in the current, that property is known as self-inductance of the coil. So because of self-inductance only, EMF is able to develop in the coil. Hence why it is also known as self-induced EMF. Self-induced EMF. So here what is given, see, self-inductance. Self-inductance is defined as the phenomenon in which a change in electric current in a circuit produces an induced electromotive force in the same circuit. So when current is changing means what? Flux linking with the coil is changing. When the flux linking with the coil is changing, what happened? Again additional EMF is induced in the coil. So that is known as self-inductance. Okay? The property of a coil by which it opposes any change in the current. Okay, because of change in current only, change in flux takes place. When the flux linking with the coil is changing, an EMF will be induced in that coil. So finally what we mean to say is the cause for self-induced EMF is nothing but self-inductance. So here what is given? Self-inductance is the property of the current carrying coil that resists or opposes the change of current flowing through it. So what? That opposes the change of current flowing through it. The current passing through the coil is changing, either it is increasing or it is decreasing. It opposes the change of current passing through the coil. This occurs mainly due to self-induced EMF produced in the coil. We can also say that self-inductance is the phenomenon where there is the induction of voltage in a current carrying wire. So that property is known as self-inductance. Because of that only EMF is induced in the coil. Now the self-induced EMF present in the coil will resist the rise of current when the current increases, and it will also resist the fall of current when it decreases. It means if the current is increasing, it opposes the increasing current. If the current is decreasing, it opposes the decreasing current. The direction of induced EMF is opposed to the applied voltage, because according to Lenz's law, what we said, the induced quantity is always, direction of induced quantity is always such that it opposes the cause of its production. Now what is the cause for to develop induced EMF? Applied voltage. Why? Because when we apply the voltage, then only current passes. When current passes through the coil, then only flux develops in the coil. When the flux develops in the coil, the flux linking with the coil also changes. So when the flux linking with the coil changes, EMF is induced. So finally what is the main root cause for developing EMF? Applied voltage. So according to Lenz's law, the direction of induced EMF is always opposite direction that of the applied voltage. So opposite direction to that of the cause of its production. Okay. The above property of the coil exists only for changing current, which is the alternating current, not for the direct or steady current. So self-inductance is always opposing the changing current and is measured in henries. And what is the symbol for self-inductance? Self-inductance symbol is L. And it is denoted by symbol L, and it is measured in henries. So what is self-inductance? Self-inductance is the property of a coil due to which it opposes any variation in current. If the current is increasing, it opposes the increase in current. If the current is decreasing, it opposes the decrease in current. So because of this property only, EMF is induced in that coil, and the direction of induced EMF is always such that it opposes the cause of its production. It means it opposes the applied voltage, and it is denoted by the symbol L, capital L, and it is measured in henries. Now we have to derive the formula for self-inductance. So see, what is self-inductance means? See, B is equal to mu H. You know this one. Where B is the flux density of the existing magnetic field and H is the magnetic field strength of the magnetic field. So from work law, the H formula is given by H equal to Ni by L. Ni by L. I am substituting that H value in this B is equal to mu H. So mu into Ni by L. Okay. Now, so but what is flux? Flux is equal to flux density into cross sectional area. So which is equal mu into pi is equal to B into A. So B is nothing but mu into N into I by L into A is the cross sectional area multiplied with A by L. Why L we are using? Magnetic field strength per turn. So pi is equal to mu naught into Ia by L. Mu naught into Ia by L. So but pi is equal to L into I. Combining these two equations, L equal to mu naught into A by L. So L is equal to N square mu A by L. See, this is the figure shown here. B is equal to mu H. So mu into Ni by L. So pi is equal to B into A. So mu into Ni by L into A. Now induced EMF is equal to N d pi by dt. So N into d pi by dt is nothing but d pi by dt into mu naught into Ni A by L. N into N square. So mu naught N square A by L into di by dt. So E is equal to, what is E? According to Faraday's law, change in current L di by dt. So L is equal to, equating these two equations, L equal to N square mu A by L. So self-inductance of a coil L equal to N square mu A by L, where mu is equal to mu naught into mu R, where mu naught is the absolute permeability, mu R is the relative permeability, N is the number of turns on the coil, A is the cross-sectional area of the coil. See, this is the coil, this area is known as the cross-sectional area. And where L is the length of the coil. L is the length of the coil. So the change of current is directly proportional to change of flux linkages. So di is proportional to d into n pi. Di is proportional to n into d pi. E is equal to n d pi by dt. This is Faraday's first law of electromagnetic induction. E is equal to n d pi by dt. And E is equal to, if you take the proportionality, remove the proportionality, or you can write the flux is directly proportional to I. So E is proportional to, instead of d pi by dt, we can write it as di by dt. So E is proportional to di by dt. If I remove the proportionality, E is equal to L di by dt. E is equal to L di by dt. So if I equate these two equations, L di by dt equal to N d pi by dt. L di by dt is equal to N d pi by dt. So L is equal to dt dt cancels, N d pi by dt. N d pi by dt. If I take differentiation, L is equal to N d pi by dt. So in another way we can calculate. మర్చిపోయినా pi is equal to mmf by reluctance. నేను గ్లాస్లో బియ్యం పోసాను, కుక్కర్లో నేను చేస్తలే. So the flux passing through the magnetic circuit is given by mmf by reluctance, where mm is equal to product of ampere turns n into I. Reluctance S is equal to L by mu into A. So L flux is equal to Ni by S, where S is equal to Ni by L. So L is equal to N into what is I? S N. So reluctance S is equal to L by mu into A. L by mu into A. So where L is equal to N square by mu L by mu naught mu R into A. So where L is equal to N square mu A by L. So the self inductance of a coil is nothing but self inductance of the coil. So once again I will explain. Pi is equal to mmf by reluctance, that is Ni by S. But what is pi? Pi is equal to L is equal to N pi by I. N into, in place of pi I am substituting Ni by S by I. So N square I cancels, N square by S. So but S is equal to L by mu naught into A, mu into A. So L is equal to N square by L by mu naught mu R into A. So when it goes to numerator, the self inductance of the coil becomes N square mu naught mu R into A by L. In this, where N is the number of turns on the coil, L is the length of the coil, mu naught or mu R is relative permeability of the media, and A is the cross sectional area of the coil, and this is measured in henries. So in another way we can calculate, see, E is equal to L di by dt. So di by dt into Li, and E is equal to N d pi by dt also. So d pi by dt into N pi. Equating these two equations, di by dt of Li is equal to d by dt of N pi. Di by dt gets cancels. Li is equal to N pi. L is equal to N pi by I. L is equal to N pi by I henries. The first formula is this one only, L is equal to N pi by I. Second formula is L is equal to N square mu A by L. And the third one is now mutual inductance. So what is mutual inductance? See, if this one coil is able to develop EMF in another coil, okay, without having electrical connection, so it is able to hear this coil, means there must be an understanding between these two coils. So that property, so the property between two coils, due to which one coil is able to induce EMF in the other coil. One coil is able to induce EMF in the other coil. Then that property is known as mutual inductance. That property is known as mutual inductance. See, here we are having two coils. So in this coil we are applying voltage. The flux is developed in this coil 1. This flux is like this. In this magnetic field we are bringing another coil. So the flux developed in coil 1 is now linking with coil 2 also. Hence some EMF is induced in coil 2. So this EMF is known as mutually induced EMF, and this property between the coils because of which the EMF is induced in coil 2 is known as mutually induced EMF, and that property is known as mutual inductance. So what is the definition of mutual inductance? Mutual induction is defined as the property between the coils due to which one coil is able to induce EMF in the other coil. One coil is able to induce EMF in the other coil. So that property is known as mutual inductance, and it is given by the symbol M, and it is also measured in henries. So now see, with a smooth current in one coil as given in the diagram, the magnetic field is formed in the other coil. See here. So this is coil 1, this is coil 2. The magnetic field is developed in coil 1, but it is linking with the coil 2. That magnetic field remains unchanged, and hence according to Faraday's law, it will not lead to any voltage creation in the secondary coil. So this one. Here flux developed is constant. The same flux links with this coil. It is constant, so no EMF is developed. See, in this figure, no EMF is induced. So what is that? No, it will not lead to any voltage. When the voltage is developed, whenever only there is change in flux. When the flux is continuous, no question of developing EMF. Now if you open the switch so as to stop the current, the magnetic field will change in the coil placed on the right hand side, thus inducing a voltage. See here, if your switch is closed, if you switch on, switch off, switch on, switch off, then what happens? If you off the switch, field is 0. If you on the switch, field is developed. Due to switch on and switch off, the magnetic field linking with this coil 2 is changing. Hence, EMF is induced in the coil as shown in figure 2. So, the coil does not support, and hence the induced voltage will promote the flow of current in the secondary coil, trying to maintain the already existing magnetic field. The switch is closed so as to allow the current to flow again. This will lead an induced current, though flowing in the opposite direction, to oppose the change in the field. See, this is the coil 1 having N turns, coil 2 is also having N turns, inductance of coil 1 is L1, inductance of coil 2 is L2, and cross section area of the coil is A. So the mutual inductance is given by mu into N1 N2 into A by L. N1 is the number of turns on coil A, N2 is the number of turns on coil B. Okay, L1 is the inductance of coil 1, L2 is the inductance, self-inductance of coil 2, and where A is the cross-sectional area of the coil, and M is the mutual inductance between the coils. M is the mutual inductance between the coils. Now, how we will derive the mutual inductance? See, बनो गैस बने को गैस गैस बन जी So here L1 is equal to mu naught into N1 square A by L. L2 is equal to mu naught into N2 square A by L. M square is equal to L1 into L2. M is equal to square root of L1 L2 into H. Now how we will derive that equation is, see, M is equal to actually L is equal to N pi by I. Here M is equal to, if that is induced in coil 2, N1 pi 21 by I2. N1 pi 21 by I2. Current is passing through the coil 2 and flux is developed in coil 2. That flux is pi 2. Some part of pi 2 links with coil 1, that is pi 2 1. So mutual inductance is equal to Weber turns in one coil. Weber turns in one coil to the change in current in the other coil. Weber turns means what? N into I. So N2 into N into pi. N2 into N1 into pi 2 1 by I2. So M is equal to N1 into pi 2 1 is how much? Some part of flux 2 is K2 into pi 2 by I2. So but what is pi 2? MMF by reluctance. N2 into I2 by S. But what is S? S is equal to L by mu naught into A. So finally M is equal to N1 N2 by S. N1 N2 by L into mu into A. So N1 N2 into mu into A by L. If both terms are same, you can call it as N square mu A by L. So the cross sectional, A is the cross sectional area. So the inductance formula L is equal to N square mu A by L. Mutual inductance formula M is equal to N1 N2 mu A by L. N1 N2 mu A by L. So in this lesson we discussed about Lenz's law. So Lenz's law means because of electromagnetic induction, some EMF is induced in the coil. The induced EMF is always in a direction such that it opposes the cause of its production. It opposes the cause of its production. That is Lenz's law. So the direction of EMF is given by Fleming's right hand rule. Keep forefinger indicates magnetic field, thumb indicates direction of the motion of the conductor, then the middle finger indicates the direction of the induced EMF, and the self-inductance and the mutual inductance. Whenever flux is changing with the coil, the EMF is induced in that coil. So the property by which the EMF is induced in the coil is known as self-inductance. Or we can say self-inductance is nothing but it is the property of a material due to which it opposes the any change in current. It opposes the any change in current. If the current is increasing, it opposes the increasing current. If the current is decreasing, it opposes the decreasing current. And mutual inductance, it is property between the coils, not only single coil, it is property between the coils, because of which the one coil is able to induce EMF in another coil. Mutual inductance is the between the coils due to which the coil 1 is able to induce EMF in coil 2. So it is given by M is equal to mu into N1 into N2 into cross section area A by L is the length of the coils. Whereas self inductance is given by L is equal to simply N square mu A by L, where N is the number of turns on the coil, A is the cross section area, L is the length of the coil. N square mu A by L. If all these coils are kept in air, mu is nothing but equal to mu naught into mu r. Mu r will become 1. So mu is becomes equal to mu naught. So in this way we can calculate the self-inductance value and mutual inductance value. So okay students, I will stop my lesson here, and in the next lesson we will discuss some problems on this mutual inductance and how the inductance is connected in series. What are the effects when the both series inductances are connected such that their fluxes are aiding each other and their fluxes are opposing each other. All that we discuss in the next class. Okay, goodbye students.